How's it going, bros? Welcome back. Today was finally another good day. I got 6 hours of sleep, which isn't enough, but my energy levels this evening were fantastic. It was simply a high testosterone day. I always feel it when I have high levels of, male hormones. You just feel strong, dominant, you want to crush, destroy, you don't feel like a loser, and you want to dominate. You want to lift heavy, you want to challenge yourself, push yourself, and man, this is like one of the reasons why, like people take steroids, is it gives you a superhuman feeling psychologically, not just physically. That's one of the reasons people get addicted to them and they continue to take them, is because it makes them feel a certain way. You feel like Superman when you are high on, just male hormones. Obviously, I'm not on any exogenous hormones, which means I'm not taking any hormones that I don't naturally produce. But today, I have multiple reasons to be producing far more than I usually am, and it reflected in my lifting. So this morning, I weighed 77.4, and a bit after my weigh-in, I actually went to the bathroom. So I would probably say that I weighed 77 kilos this morning, like almost. So it was an unusually light day this morning, and despite that, I still lifted really well now. I think a part of that is that it hasn't been a really salt-heavy day, but I've ate quite a lot of food today. Not crazy amounts, but a decent amount of food. I would say that probably it's going to be like a maintenance day in terms of like calories, or a very slight deficit, because I've only eaten 3 meals, but those meals have been big, they've been heavy, a lot of fat, a lot of carbs, and a lot of protein, and a lot of salt today. So I was feeling that like thick, dense feeling, and as you can see there, look at that speed on the overhead press. That is phenomenal. If you look at where I was 2 days ago, I failed the first attempt. The second attempt was grindy, wonky. That was not perfect, but it was a very solid 60 kilo press, with clear room in the tank to do 62.5. I did not have that capability 2 days ago. And conveniently, 62.5 is on the menu for Tuesday next week. By the way, guys, I am on vacation. Not really vacation, but I have no school. So I'm going to be at home for basically a week right now. This weekend and the following week, I'm going to be able to sleep. I'm going to feel better. And I'm going to get even more into this training routine. I'm going to put on a bit of muscle. I'm going to lose a little bit of body weight. And when school comes back, I'll have those routines steady, proper, and I'm going to try to keep them as long as possible, really grind through a few more weeks, and then we have the national championship in Taekwondo. So I'm feeling good physically right now. I'm feeling healthy, which is phenomenal. During the beginning, the first part of this week, I believe I had some problems with my right rotator cuff. I believe it's the rotator cuff because it hurts when I... by the way, that was a pretty bad deadlift technique-wise, and I'm aware of that. It was heavy. Deadlifts went good today. Anyway, my rotator cuff, I believe it's my rotator cuff because internal rotation of the shoulder hurt. Like doing stuff like, God, what are those called? I don't know. Like face balls, for example, would not have hurt, but it would have hit that area. And it's like, best way I can describe it is, if you imagine where the rear delt is, it's like almost under the rear delt. If there's anyone out there who's, really into rotator cuffs, you'll probably know if it is that or not. But I actually get it sometimes aggravated by rows and sometimes by pull-ups and chin-ups if I do them bad form, sloppy. So during the second half of this week, I've been forced to not do perfect rows by any means, but to stay a bit tighter in the upper back, and I put my shoulder in a good position, pumped a lot of blood in there with that good technique, and today I had no pain at all. Yes, so these rows aren't perfect. With this weight and with these reps and with that mat underneath, I probably could do better form, but it would absolutely crush me. I'm going to say this is good. Obviously, there's room for improvement, and I do not plan to improve that far. I plan to keep around this level of form, which is a regular, decent form that is not terrible for your joints, not perfect, but it's not... I'm not anal about my form here, obviously, but it's still good enough to where there is a very low injury risk and I'm nice and stable, strong, dense, like packed up, you know what I mean? It feels solid. So this is probably the form I'm going to try to keep, while just going higher and higher in reps here. Probably going to get to, the goal is 3 sets of 18 on the row, alternatively 3 sets of 17. We'll see how far we get with that. But previously I believe I've done 3 sets of 18 with the rows, but I didn't manage to get 18 pull-ups or chin-ups afterwards. This time I'm going to try to do 3 sets of 18 with the rows and try to do 1 set of 18 pull-ups afterwards. That will probably leave me with a 155 deadlift in kilos, a 155 kilo deadlift, which was my previous record. To get to that would represent a matching of my absolute strongest ever, which was around late summer now in 2021. But I want to hit these lifts at 77 kilos as opposed to, like 79. Although my deadlift number, I didn't hit that at 79. My deadlift has never been very correlated with my body weight. It's always been correlated with how hard I train the associated muscles and how I'm growing. In some stages of my development, I've been massively stronger on the deadlift than the squat. Then I've gained squat strength and like lost deadlift strength. Then I gained deadlift strength and lost squat strength. All of these kind of independent to one another. So I believe I grow in different phases. My arms grow different lengths at different times. The rest of my body grows differently. So yeah, I think it has to do with development. But I do believe that I have slightly short arms. That has always been my belief. I do believe that. I have reason to believe that because I've always been decent at pressing and not quite there with deadlifting. At least in comparison to my little brother. He deadlifts right now 2.5 kilos more than me, and he's only 15 and I'm 17. And he also weighs 60 something, 63, 64, 65 maybe. I weigh 77, 78. So he's a stronger deadlifter than me by far, but I crush him on squats and I crush him on bench. So that indicates not only strength specialization, that he has trained the deadlift very hard, very well, good job Charlie, but also that he is genetically built to deadlift. At least in this moment in his development, he has very long arms in comparison to his legs, or at least in comparison to his back length, which gives him good leverages to deadlift. Enough speaking, that was the workout today, felt great, and I will see you guys tomorrow most likely. Goodbye.